best of 3 showdown. Winner continues on in the tournament in the playoff stage. Loser out and about, as we might have action early on. Seb?
Uh-oh.
Gonna get glimpsed back. Disruption is there from Mira.
He's fine.
Yep, looks like he'll live in another life. First blood to Larl. That is probably the best hero to snag that one. As BSJ called the last pick Disruptor. Syndon, are you impressed with him?
I am. I'm consistently finding myself more and more impressed with BSJ. That's because he set the bar so low for himself. No, that was a very good call. I like the idea a lot. I myself was looking at Storm as a potential option for the side of Spirit, which I think could have also been interesting. The panel's perspective on putting Lesh 5. Maybe Spirit just think that's just not good enough in lane. Or maybe they feel like they run into trouble in the later on in the game. Maybe Miposhka isn't a big fan of in general. But it's also debatable whether that solution is even better. Like, Storm would have definitely had some good matchups here, but there's also some pitfalls. This way seems pretty bulletproof to me with the Lesh in the mid lane and the Disruptor 5. And as they kind of covered, as long as Disruptor's lane goes well, this is a hero that I personally find exceptionally entertaining to watch. I think it makes for so dynamic gameplay. It really favors aggression.
Why do you think it's fallen off in terms of just the pick rate?
Primarily the laning, I think. It has a lot of matchups that are quite punishing. The way Disruptor generally lanes is very, like, he doesn't trade particularly well. Thunderstrike is really expensive in mana, so you can't spam it as much as you want. You have worse attack animation and attack damage than most of the popular ranged 4s. And on top of that, obviously, like, this hero has the same problem it always did. It doesn't do much against BKB until it gets Ags, so there's like this very awkward intermediary phase where you need to bridge that gap. But
BZM
look at here.
Really low here.
Yeah.
Got some bottle charges now, though. First, Larl being able to get his. I thought he was going to get his first, actually. Not the case. He still hasn't bought it, in fact. Now it's on its way, despite getting the first blood.
Yeah, how does he not have it yet, actually?
I don't know. I think BZM definitely started with more gold. That's probably just...
Oh, okay. BZM had, like, dead slots. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, Zeus doesn't start with as many items. He didn't start with a full wand, which is what Larl did. Quite greedy as a starting build in mid.
Yeah.
But if you do get the first blood, you know, that's probably why he did it.
Yeah, this water rune will top him off, so not too much lost here, as BZM has the slight CS advantage early on. I mean, how is this lane supposed to go, regardless of first blood?
I think the games we've seen, it's been slightly less favored. Not like a blowout, but eventually what you just saw there is going to start happening a bit more. Zeus can't only last it with Arc Light.
Oh, BZM.
He has to also come in for right clicks, and whenever you do that, you're exposing yourself to Lightning Storm and potentially a split. And you just get harassed a lot. Eventually you have to yield a little bit. You're starting to see it here. BZM's mana down to half. May have to go for the bounty rune for a refill. Miposhka will get this one. Little late. Ahri on the counterplay on the Lotus.
All right, probably the best Hoodwink in the world, and it's probably because it feels like it's the only hero he plays.
I thought you were going to say it's because he's the only Hoodwink in the world.
No.
That's extremely rude. He's really good.
No, he is a very good player. He does play a lot of this Hoodwink.
Yeah. We had an interview with him, I want to say it was either last night or the night before, where he said they're over-picking it because the goal is to turn it into a ban.
Right. That's fair.
Spirit saw that interview, and they said, why did you tell us that? Now we're just going to let you have it.
Yeah. That is also fair. I mean, that is typically how it goes, but perhaps... Wait, he is very impactful on it, but there's only so many bans that you get in the game, and a lot of them are reserved for cores, of course.
Yep.
But on the other hand, he does kind of turn into a core a lot of the time. Kind of by design in terms of the hero overall. BZM. Use the Heavenly Jump to get away here.
That slow lasts so long, actually. Onto Larl. He was hoping to get some Edict damage in, but enough distance created. Boschka gonna leave the water for BZM. That's Larl, sorry. Got the name wrong. It's easy to confuse them. Little known fact about Miposhka and BZM, they have played a lot together.
in pubs?
I have no idea. I'm just grasping at straws at this point.
Just take the L, Cinderin.
Yeah.
You're used to that in your pro career. You should get used to it in your casting.
Extremely uncalled for Sunsfan TV.
Yatoro.
Still did better than you did in CS.
That's technically true. Yatoro on the outskirts of... Doesn't matter. Down he goes to Whisper. But there's TP support. A nice glimpse comes out from Miposhka, so it will be a trade.
Oh, that's a really good bushwhack. Sorry. Acorn shot.
We're just getting warmed up here, Cinder.
Tons of damage. Hey, at least I got the spell from the right hero this time.
Yep, that's the start.
But yeah, Mira taking the rotation will open up the top lane for a little bit of more safety for Void.
Yeah, they're going to have Glamps. That's 3 stacks of Shadow Poison. Seb's sticking around a little bit too long, potentially. Kinetic Field. They want to give the kill to the Naga, but it's not going to be the case. Mira
waited so long, and then just as Yatoro can get it, Mira takes the kill.
Mid-auto attack animation, he goes for it. Ari likely will fall. Mira is going to end up being the trade. Now Whisper left in a 1v2, but he's got the move speed. Already 1,000 into his... Gonna go straight up Brown Boots Radiance. Outside the kinetic field, he will be able to walk away.
I think the biggest winner in all of this is Miposhka, actually. He's getting a lot of experience, and Disruptor as a support has this tendency of sometimes getting a little bit XP starved, but like Insanio was talking about, if he can get a good level 6 timing, his hero is outstanding in this game. He's already level 4.5. We're 6 minutes in. If they get a Wisdom Rune, you're 3/4 of the way there, so...
Yep, first power rune is bottom, and it's the shield being reserved for BZM. Seb ensuring that. But looking at these lineups, I mean, the Brewmaster may be the more unusual pick versus the ones that we've been usually seeing, along with the Disruptor, of course, which we've already talked about. But the Brew, exceptionally good against illusions. Is that the main reason?
Yeah, for sure. They pick it against Naga. We were actually having a conversation about this exact matchup earlier today. I think it was with Effie who asked how much damage it does. So we looked into it. So the Dispel from the Storm Panda does 1,000 damage. And then that is before amplification and reductions. Naga's illusions take 350%, so that's 3.5k damage per illusion. But illusions have basic magic resist, which cannot be modified. So if you get Eternal Shroud, it doesn't help illus only the main, which means it should do 75% of 3.5k, whatever that is, the whole game. And you cannot circumvent that as Naga in any way.
I like how you looked all that up and then you didn't bother putting that in the calculator.
I just figured you could do the math for me. You're really good at that.
Yep, so it's something.
All right, give me how about this? You give me your best guess and then I'll do the math here.
What's the number? 3,000 what?
75% of 3,500.
2750.
2625. Okay, I mean, not bad.
Close enough.
We're somewhat close.
Pretty good for NA math.
You got the right first digit. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Pushka level 5. Wandering over, but he is going to run into Seb and Ari. The lift up. Glimpse away onto Ari. And Seb won't be able to finish anything.
I love that he quells the tree after the combo missed. He's like, for good measure.
Just for later.
Yep.
Gonna get that finger nice and warmed up. Collapse playing the Primal Beast today.
Yep.
And yeah, Tomato on the Void. Void, his win rate absurd. Really shocking to see, actually.
We haven't really talked about this lane yet. So we saw yesterday a Primal play against the Void, but that was Primal plus Lion, and Void got absolutely eaten alive in that lane. It's very different with Shadow Demon. Void, in theory, is pretty good against Primal in lane as long as you're not chain stunned. This will be a very early mid tower.
There's no defense whatsoever.
Okay. So yeah, Tomato will do way better than I believe it was Nightfall in that game did in lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But see data down the line. Of course, the Primal is also unfazed by the matchup. That's going to be basically a constant, no matter what support he plays with. Faceless Void does nothing to Primal in lane. It's very easy.
Bottom tower is under attack.
And Whisper is dominating this bot lane in the meantime, though. OG is going to end up getting a really early Radiance on their side if nobody tries to contest him in the next couple minutes. Has the Talisman of Evasion already. Good relic to follow. And of course, that will provide a lot of push potential for a lineup that really has none.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Void hitting high ground
Dire's
that
top tower
requires
is
3 to
under
4
attack.
items with probably an Aegis to boot.
Koshka is probably not doing so hot here.
Yep, gets off a glimpse, but then dies in the midst of things.
Slowing down a bit, but he's almost 6. The support's on the side of OG a bit further down the list. Zev currently level 4, and this is after Wisdom Rune. So he's got quite some ground to cover to unlock that ult. Finds the 5 just now.
Radiant's middle tower is
So a
under
full level
attack.
to go.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And on the side of Spirit for Mira, his counterpart, they're pretty evenly matched actually. That experience is quite even, but I guess there's I was comparing apples and oranges actually, but a slight XP advantage overall for the Radiant supports.
Does feel like they have a lot of answers for this Naga. You talked about the Brew. I mean, the Radiance obviously on top of the Storm Panda. Although the Radiance is technically on the Earth Panda, but you know what I mean. Both of those in conjunction, really strong. Zeus, very good against Illusion Heroes.
Yep.
And then Void, just a monster late game.
Gonna have the song against Chrono though, which is the primary reason Spirit picked this hero, I feel. It is a double-edged matchup, because you're right, it's one of the heroes that has the strongest lockdown against Naga, but at the same time, the way Naga plays and itemizes, Void actually doesn't really enjoy the whole wave clearing aspect of the hero.
Is under attack.
Will of course be itemizing against it, there's no way around it.
Yeah, he'll be going BKB. Not sure if Zeus is going phylactery. We'll see what kind of build he wants to opt for after the fact, but could be a good Nimbus game. We haven't really been seeing the whole Aghanim Scepter build very much though, but on top of the Chrono, very good. But something else to mention is the song against like a Hoodwink, for example. Just looking for like Chrono damage, it's not going to do anything against it if you line it up first.
Yeah.
You get the cast off and then it gets slept, it'll still go off eventually.
I think every time we get a Zeus game, we're kind of talking about the caster Zeus versus Lightning Hands. I actually kind of like Lightning Hands in this one. And I usually find myself liking the casting build better. Because I think Lightning Hand Zeus actually deals very well with Naga, and you do a lot of damage in Chrono. Mira will be toast.
Bushwhacked and eventually will fall. Takes a little bit longer than anticipated.
Still looking great for Spirit in the way of net worth, just finding more out of the map. They've taken 1 tower each team, so that gold is even. So this 1k advantage essentially, or 2k, excuse me, is essentially just raw net worth from last hits. The majority of it.
Then collapse. Oh, we see the Chronosphere from Tomato. TP's coming. Not a whole lot of damage by Tomato right now. BZM makes his way over. There's the Static Storm, and Collapse is going to use it to onslaught away, but he's still kind of slow. BZM able to heavenly jump in the vicinity, pops his ult, and down goes the Primal. Maposhka tried to help the exit for Collapse. Will likely fall as well, and the Fade Bolt will be enough. Larl and Mira still shadowing here, ready to fight potentially. Split Earth not going to be cast though, and now Spirit will retreat.
That's a nice sequence from OG. They were trying to set up onto the Void here with the Primal, and he immediately gets the Chrono off, which, as you said, didn't really do much, but it bought time for the teammates to connect, and they can go for the chase down. OG taking advantage of the fact that Naga has nothing to offer right now, so these fights will be 5v4s.
God, how Dota has changed. Position for Hoodwink. Arcane Boots into Maelstrom. The fact that you go Maelstrom so fast on his support.
Yep.
So weird. But he'll be able to scale. I mean, they are setting themselves up really well to get to the late game if they can get these items at a pretty decent time. They get the Maelstrom and the Radiance, and I don't know. Yep. I do like their lineup quite a bit. The Radiance is there for Whisper now.
Quite strong timing for OG right now. Going for potentially a Brew split play into the mid-tier 1 tower would be nice if they can do a dive. Maybe consider a smoke around when you have Chrono, bring both the ults and just really collapse on the tower.
Radiant are scanning.
Let's see. That will be their play of choice for now. Happy to farm, as it looks. And a very even game. It's not like Spirit are on, I would say...
That's a good question, Cinderin. We'll have to find that out in the next episode of
Great.
Pause.
I really love the way you were talking. The music really does something for us. Like we're uncovering a mystery. I wonder what Valve were thinking.
Usually the answer is they were not.
Sure that insulted someone. Good job.
Just my presence alone is insulting to some, Cinderin.
Yep. I put up with abuse every day.
BKB almost there for collapse, so opting to go for that right off the bat.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And I mean, do you think he's going to find some good initiations without the blink first?
It's kind of tough, but the good news is he doesn't have to initiate. He just has to force the enemy team to run away, and then they can glimpse.
Yeah, that's true.
So as long as he gives vision and information, I feel like the Spirit lineup can play around him pretty well.
All right, OG going to smoke up.
They'll
Chrono
find
is available. Collapse. Oh, the Chrono reserved just for the Disruptor. As Collapse was going to run into it, but ends up sidestepping it in the end.
Yeah, Tomato was hoping for a double there. Not happening. Instant TP from Mira against that Thunder God's Wrath.
Whisper, even more greed to his name, Cinderin, going boots and travel after Radiance. So he's going to be all over the place. He should be top 3 or 4 net worth throughout this game, I feel like, with this kind of a build.
Sure, Merlini is proud out there. Radiance into travels. Wonderful. Where's the Midas, though?
Yeah, true. Well, we have seen some 60-minute Midases at this tournament. Maybe this is a game for that for him.
Power run top will be claimed by OG. So amplify damage for Zeus.
You're not able to toggle Radiance off with Disruption Illusions anymore, right?
Correct.
Used to be, for those that don't understand, you used to be able to toggle it while you were disrupted so that the illusions did not get Radiance.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
That was pretty lame for the 3 or 4 Shadow Demon players out there. Pulverize onto Ahri. He's going to use his Sharpshooter, but then dies shortly after. Collapse with a good pickoff. Got his BKB in his inventory now. He's already halfway to that Blink
Radiant's
Dagger.
middle tower is under attack.
Larl
Dire's structures
will be joining him.
Dire's top tower.
Trying to high-five the tower before it's too late.
It's going to be close.
Will he get the high-five?
Oh, no!
Dire's top tower has fallen.
Oh, close.
Where did the high-five go?
Disappeared.
But it didn't say he didn't get a high-five, right? So I guess he technically high-fived the corpse of the tower.
Huh. I never noticed that one.
Towers don't have corpses, Shannon. It would be the ruins.
Thank you for that. Static Storm onto the Brew. Whisper dead. Good pickoff. And that is exactly what BSJ was talking about. This Static Storm can set up so much for them. They didn't need the song set up this time around, but you can just see the impact that that can have. And I don't believe we've seen a single Primal split this game.
And I think the scariest part is yet to come for OG, to be honest, which is once the towers start falling and the map gets spread thin, you're going to have to play the same kind of game, but on less space. Naga will be pushing out the waves in multiple lanes. You're going to have to deal with the threat of her Orchid killing your supports in the side lanes. You're going to have to worry about constantly getting spotted and glimpsed back when you run away. So I feel like this upcoming 10 minutes is going to be a test for the Dire lineup about keeping their composure and not getting caught off too much. It is going to be difficult. OG will try to combat it by just making the first move. They have all their stuff ready, all their big ults. They will run into Mira. They will kill him.
The tank of the gank, Mira, evaporates.
Not exactly what they were hoping for.
No.
Would have loved to find a Leshrac farming the triangle there, but he was off to the right.
You think they have good enough damage in Chrono? I mean, Zeus can obviously output a lot.
Yeah, Hoodwink.
The Sharpshooter.
Hoodwink's good in Chrono. It's a lot of damage. Not only the Sharpshooter, she can hit everything.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Yeah, the
attack.
tree does work in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, and she could get a boomerang as well, eventually. The shard. Probably gonna hope to get it for free, of course.
As all supports do.
Oh, Spirit might find the bigger one. This was what
Yeah.
OG were hoping for. Tomato Spider Sense is tingling, though.
Wow. Good instincts.
He's still gonna stay and
but the
farm it,
greed of
though.
position 1 never falters. Pulverize into the Static Storm. That's the death of Tomato. Man, he had the right idea, but then he just saw those juicy creeps. Last Fox and company still on the high ground. Ari could use the sharpshooter to get back down. Larl, super fast, telekinesis back towards that tier 2 tower as the primal split is finally popped here. Not using too much effect. Mira gets off the disruption onto Miposhka. Looks like he'll end up dropping eventually to Whisper. As Collapse now focusing on BZM. The trample is enough. So 2 cores dead for OG. Ari stuck in no man's land. And this will be the 3rd member to fall here for OG. And all they get is a disruptor. It took so long to find it.
They're not done yet.
Yeah, the primal continuing on to Seb. Nice kill.
Is under attack.
4 dead overall. The Brew, the only one to survive if you want to count that Tomato death in the triangle. They wanted to fight after Tomato died.
Yeah, I don't really think that's a thing, to be honest. I think OG making a clear mistake. You've got to imagine that Spirit are set up in this position quite powerfully after they go for that gank onto the Void. They're not showing in other lanes, so under the assumption that at least 4 of Spirit's heroes are someone in the neighborhood, I just think they're too strong for you. Oh boy.
Okay.
No primal split.
Yep, there's the ensnare, Orchid to follow, and the stuns from Larl more than enough as Whisper dies again. Wait, is that his first death? That's number 3. Okay, not even close, Cinder.
Yep.
Good effort though. And the Bushwhack sharpshooter and Thunder Guns up, but the neutral denies Mira. Oh my god.
Radiant's middle tower
OG
is
cannot
under attack.
catch a break this game. What are the chances?
Yeah,
That is absurd.
that's unfortunate.
Dire's top tower
Yeah,
is under attack.
Well,
that is when he knows things, when it rains it pours, as they say, and it is
Radiant are
getting out of
scanning.
control now for Spirit. Of course, OG, they do have all these greedy items, so I feel like they can definitely find the farm as Whisper trying to force the issue, but Collapse already out. And yeah, once he gets his BKB, he's going to be a lot safer to the Static Storm until an eventual Axe comes from Miposhka, but who knows if that's even going to happen. I mean, it is Miposhka. He plays like position 6, it feels like sometimes. Well, but he does get he has a Philly Stone, so that's definitely coming pretty soon. A couple minutes away, I would think.
just give him 2 minutes and he'll have Axe Blink.
That's right.
A gift from the Tempest of Battle.
Yeah.
You think he goes Axe right off the bat here, or is
No, probably not.
like a Glimmer or something?
Yeah, some sort of utility items would be nice for starters. I think the Static Storm can be the game winner ultimately with the Axe, but I don't think it's something he necessarily needs to. Especially in this game state when you're doing this well, you don't have to itemize for it. You could get stuff that protects people in Chrono, such as the Glimmer, which is actually a lot of damage negation in this game. You're blocking a ton of Zeus, you're blocking a ton of Hoodwink, Rubick, even some Radiance damage here and there. So I wouldn't mind seeing the Glimmer Cape. What I'm mainly curious about for both sides really is how is the map going to look in 3 minutes when we get to nighttime? Like, who's going to be able to gather information? It's another point about the Naga that's really valuable is when the map gets dark, she gets stronger. She has free info constantly. OG have pretty good wards for now, but the gem on Miposhka could change that very quickly. He gave it away, did he? Or did he drop it in base? He had a gem. Wait, where is it?
Miposhka has a gem in his stash.
Oh, he
So back at
stashed it.
base. Yeah.
Okay.
Radiant's top
Now he has it
tower
again.
is under
All right.
attack.
Like magic.
Very nice. Well, looks like Seb's going to get picked off in the meantime, as I do believe Spirit are setting up for the old Roshan.
Yep.
And Yatoro with a heart feeling very invincible. A 4K net worth spread or difference between him and the closest opponent, which is Whisper.
Dire are scanning.
That's insane farming. Yeah, I don't think OG could even contest this if they wanted to. So first Aegis goes to Spirit. I assume this will go on Larl? Question mark?
Yeah, I think it should. Let's see though.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Certainly one of the best Aegis carriers in the game.
Roshan has fallen
And
to
indeed
the
that is the case.
Okay.
Radiant's top tower.
So what are they
is
going to
under
do with
attack.
this one? I reckon they want to take all the outer towers if possible. At the very least, 2 of them.
You're the only person that says reckon.
I love that word.
You know, it's very...
Radiant's middle tower is
I don't know a
under
good
attack.
way to say it, so I'm not going to say it out loud. It's very American Southern.
Radiant
It's a
are
hick
scanning.
thing.
What?
It's very hick.
It's just a normal word.
Nobody uses that.
That's incorrect.
I reckon that's true.
Well,
That's what I think of every time
I don't
you say it.
say it like that.
I reckon.
I say it very sophisticated. I say, I reckon.
There's no such thing as sophistication with the word reckon. Anyway, continue with your very...
Spirit will probably want to push out bottom, take that tower, and then steal the Tormentor. That's what they usually do. So I'm actually surprised to see them not go for that as the immediate follow-up play to the Roche bot.
I reckon that's true. Oh, Tomato.
Wow, that sounds so stupid when you say
Dire's
it.
middle tower is under attack.
Tomato on the other side of the tree line. Mira gonna catch vision. Tomato actually uses Time Walk aggressively. Pops his BKB, but that's a demonic purge. Basically wasting his BKB now. Has to use his Chrono to be able to get some move speed, but Zeus is taken out first on the outskirts
not
of
even
the
gonna
battle.
kill him.
And now the song comes out. The BKB is over. Ensnare to follow. Orchid. Tomato destroyed. Wow, that is a bad fight for OG. And Seb's going to be cleaned up. Whisper the only one to survive, and that's because he wasn't even there.
That was just not coordinated for OG whatsoever. They get a solo Chrono that nobody is helping in. BZM is getting killed off on the side of here. Ari as well just becomes collateral damage in the Static Storm. Whisper is here, but he's just like, all right, I'm out. After killing Miposhka, there's no more fight for him. Yeah, that was
one of those things
not
for
work out.
Tomato where you just, you know, he doesn't want a Chrono. Just a Disruptor again. But in hindsight, that is the play. I mean, getting Demonic Purge, he had to use it just to move. Like, that was brutal. Absolutely brutal. And now it's ballooned to a 10k lead for Spirit.
Dire's middle tower is under
Again, if you're just joining us, very important series. Both these teams are tied. This DreamLeague group stage 2 as Yatoro goes high ground. Pulverized from Collapse onto Whisper. Not able to get the primal split off, and even BZM falls to Larl. This is a disaster. OG just getting run over.
Yeah, what was it you said earlier? When it rains, it pours?
That's right.
Yeah, probably something like that going on right now, I reckon.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I shouldn't have told you that. You're going to use it more often now.
I'm going to use it against you.
Dire's
Okay,
middle
sharp
Like a
shooter
weapon.
is eventually going to go off and into no man's land. Collapse there to finish the job. And just like that, blink on Miposhka just a minute ago, he had nothing.
Look at that nice
Yeah,
map
the
placement of the Naga illusions. Like a beautiful... Okay, now they all despawn, so now you can't see them, but he had one in each lane outside of the tier 3s, despite 2 tier 2 towers being up. Yatoro cutting every wave, textbook stuff. You see it again now, sending them out one by one, and OG, not really the best heroes at dealing with this. I always call this trash duty, because it feels so unrewarding. Yeah, you're like cleaning out this mess, you're putting out fires.
38 gold.
And the reward is so underwhelming from the amount of effort you put in. And then you have to do it again. It comes back all the time. It's like ants or spiders in your house. Well, all right, I get Miposhka. Did he have the gem on him there? He didn't, right? No, it's on Mira, so they don't get the gem for this. And Spirit will probably finally go for what I was talking about. Bottom tower into Tormentor.
But there's TPs. Tomato aggressively
okay,
finds
wanted
a
the wisdom
low
room.
Toro there. Orchid run away. Both sides were so surprised to see each other. As Larl, he's going to want to pick on, but that is just the Aegis. Collapse now with the Pulverize is instantly canceled. Tomato, good right-click damage against Collapse, but there's the song to reset. Or for Yatoro, I should say, it's Collapse, BKB, TP. He's fine. Now Yatoro on the run, but he's going to get lifted if he's not careful. Thunder God's Wrath gets some nice, good vision. Mira glimmers himself. It's off the Demonic Purge, but now it is Yatoro left all alone, and he will face the wrath of OG. And they'll finally be able to take him out. 70 seconds on the deck. Needs a little bit more of that to get back in this game.
That was such a strange situation, honestly.
Jesus, look at his farm.
Oh, he is going to rush the Axe. Oh. Yeah. So, Void time walked in to get the Wisdom Rune, and it's gone, and he just sees heroes like, uh-oh, and the fight breaks out, but Spirit were not ready for it either, so they couldn't really punish it with the Primal ult or anything like that. the fight develops, OG get a very good primal split usage that time around. That was a great fight from Whisper. And they do claw back a little bit. It's still not looking great. Faceless Void late game, you know, you just gotta hold out for it.
How many minutes until the Void can stand on his own, Cinderin?
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Well, let's not go with minutes. Let's go with items. So there's Mjolnir BKB, going Manta next, and obviously the Orchid is one of the reasons for that.
When
also
can
a
you
way to get out
stand
of
on your own? Like, what's the goal?
To be a threat, a huge threat.
To who?
Oh, I hate you. Just answer
That's
the
a
question.
really bad question.
I mean, you can.
When are you a threat? It really depends to what. I am a threat to an ant right now, but I'm not a threat to a bear.
Who's the ant here?
Probably Miposhka. He's a threat to him already. He's not a threat to the primal.
Larl has the Hex. His Whisper pops the BKB. His primal split is up in 2 seconds. He's going to be able to walk it off, it seems. Miposhka, he's going to get
the split.
He has to use the primal split, and that means they want to fight Larl. He's left all alone, pops his bloodstone. There is the Chronosphere, the song to come.
Oh,
and
this is
Tomato,
such a good
destruction,
counter.
delaying things again, and Tomato can only hit illusions. How frustrating is that? And now the trample on top of BZM. And the Brewmaster is going to die inside his own split.
Beautiful fight from
Collapse.
Spirit.
Okay, he's on the cliff. That's awkward.
Oh, Zeb will help him out.
Gonna need to get a replay of that one after this fight is over. And the 4th member of OG falls. And Spirit dominating.
Is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
How did he get up there? Was it a blink or the onslaught?
He blinked, and he's doing it on purpose. He wants to give them vision for the glimpse, so this is really nice.
Oh, okay.
And Zeb is like, he's trying to give them vision of the glimpse, so I'm going to lift him down.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
What a beautiful fight from Spirit that was. Just really great protective play around Larl. They do this very well, I feel, when they play this Lesh. They have a great understanding of how to protect him and really enable him in fights. And this one, the song into Disruption, delay everything coming out of OG was very punishing. And a great sequence from them will reward them with Elena Barracks.
Indeed. Larl has a BKB coming. Miposhka has Ags. Not sure if he's shown quite yet, but that is a very important one. Prevents all the BKBs, which right now there's 2.
Seb does not have Shard, and he does not have it queued up. I think he might genuinely not be thinking about this counterplay. They were talking about it on the panel. The Rubick Shard is one of the best saves in the entire game against Static Storm plus Kinetic Field combo, because you can actually lift people out of it. But yeah, since he's not buying up the Shard, this play exists now for Spirit. They can Disruption into Static Storm, or they can Song into Static Storm. So 2 really great combinations for Miposhka to play with. Definitely going to be seeing them looking for, especially the Faceless Void with this play. 21k lead. This is a landslide victory right now for Spirit.
A lot of OG series have been going 3 games.
I think that costs 1 gold more.
That's really interesting.
Really something to think about.
Glad I wasted the last 10 seconds listening to that.
You should have never brought it up.
We have a smoke on both sides. As we're unpaused in case you were all tapped. Whisper, looking for the backstab Mira. She gets popped, but the Primal Beast goes in really deep collapse. Not able to find the connection. Tomato already used his BKB. In fact, pretty much everybody has used their BKB. Whisper forced to use the Primal Split. It's already getting destroyed. Only the Earth Panda remains. The Demonic Purge upon him. And Whisper has to come out early, but he's going to get collapsed by Collapse and company. Larl will help Mira get the kill, and now the song from Yatoro to help the rest of his team catch up. Static Storm on Ahri, Kinetic Field on Seb. He does steal the static, but it's just too little too late. 3 dead. And Spirit can continue on for another barracks potentially.
Is under attack.
They really came to play today in this game 1. I'm very impressed because it's interesting. We've cast a couple of Spirit games. We saw them in particular against Falcons. That series they played really well and lost 2-0. We know the ceiling is still there, but they've been inconsistent, but once they hit hard.
Oh, Hex, Glimpse.
Not quite.
Jump away, but he cannot defend against this. 1 fortification remains here. will not refresh with this kill.
Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
They're actually not going for it. Okay. Fortnite instead. Collapse will get his rocks to play with. And they will fully reset. And yeah, with Roche up, makes sense. Not sure if they're going to go for it right away, but they are running towards that general direction. And I don't, have we cast a game where Spirit got the banner, by the way? The game against them, they had Mega Creeps against them. They did get one banner. They stole it. We didn't catch it on.
Yeah, I think they didn't use that one.
Yeah, it was just in their base.
Which is, very telling. They were against Megas, and they didn't use the banner, which makes a lot of sense because it would have been pointless.
Yeah, what if the longer you held the banner, the stronger it got? Like you're down Mega, like you don't take advantage of it right away. You wait half an hour and you put it up, and suddenly your normal creeps become Gaben creeps. Roche to Spirit. Aegis. Banner!
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
And now
Radiant's
one
middle
move
tower
is
has
all
fallen.
that's between Spirit and a game 1 win. Finding any sort of
They
good
planted
teamfight
the banner
close
already.
down.
Where?
They put it top? They put it in the lane. They have Rex and Shannon.
Oh, they did it!
Spirit
They got it!
never ceases to impress us, but unfortunately Whisper saw it and he's running over. Oh, he's smoked. He's going to take the 2 wisdoms.
Is he going to kill the flag? Does he give a shit about this?
Double wisdom, Shannon. That is very
Oh, he's
unusual.
going for it! The backstab on the banner is successful! Whisper has done it! They're going to lose, of course, but he's done that at the very least. The Chronosphere comes in from Tomato, but a nice disruption from Mira again. Feels like Tomato just cannot catch a break.
Whisper's even here.
On him, of course not. He's too busy killing something that nobody gives a shit about except for you and me. Finally, Tomato is dead.
No
80
buy.
seconds. Age is still intact, and Spirit should be able to clean this up here on out. How can OG defend with 4? Whispers all the way back here. All right, watching a very cool battle as a song comes out from Yatoro. Seb is dead. Melee racks at the bot lane will go down, and Yatoro not even bothering for the Megas. The guys, I think we can finish. Let's do this. Yeah, apparently that Battle of the Ages is still happening. Whisper looking for the high five that will never come. Collapse refuses to deal with him.
This is like a parody. What are they doing?
Well, Whisper is dying. He does have buybacks. That's a quicker TP in some ways. Very next level play. Zeus into the fountain, dies. As buyback will expend it. Now they're all out of buybacks, I do believe. Mira. OG finds a couple supports as Spirit maybe bit off a little bit too much here. Primal split coming. Nice bushwhack as Collapse comes in with another onslaught, but he's lifted into the air. But look at the damage onto these Brewlings. Already 2 out of the 4 dead. That's 50%. Wow. Wondering, Cinderin. The sheep being shown by Yatoro. It's on its way. Collapse will get
I don't think they can
lifted.
kill this guy.
Yeah, he is so huge.
Like, what are they going to do? He has heart, 5,000 health, Kaya-san.
Yep, they're tickling him. And now Yatoro coming. It's like, all right, it's time. The song. Doesn't look like they want to fight without their supports.
I actually think Spirit could have won that 3v4
Probably.
or 3v5, but I very much understand not choosing to take that fight. There's no reason to give OG the opportunity to even make a comeback in this game. As soon as their heroes are up, you imagine they want to smoke and use this 2 minutes of Aegis straight down mid on Yatoro. He can push.
I think it might have been close. They could have had Megas if Yatoro just went.
Oh, they would have had Megas for sure if he didn't go for the throne, but it's okay.
Yeah, just delaying here a little bit for content.
Lesh 25 chooses the Pulse Nova, triggers Lightning Storm, so they won't have that pushing talent. But
OG probably thinking already about game number 2. They're gonna have to rethink something. Do you think it's more draft related than anything else, or
It's a
Spirit's
combination.
playing way better right now.
I think the draft was always going to be tricky around the mid game, but I think the one moment that they had where they lost 4 for, I think it was 4 from Eposhka,
Yeah,
the game blew wide open in that one moment, and they never got a chance since. So that's really the highlight of the game for them to look at in the replay to figure out what they could have done differently.
Larl, they'll find a little Brewmaster action. And that is a dieback. So Whisper probably won't be able to get back into this game. EZM showing himself, which sets up the song for Yatoro.
Static
Storm upon him, and this is going to be the second dieback for OG.
Seb has the shard, but he could get it right.
Really wants to disrupt it, but again the disruption comes out. And Mapochka Glimmer, no vision for Tomato, and he's just out of steam. Time walks just like a little kid with his hand in the cookie jar, just can't quite get to Mapochka. GG's called game number 1 to Spirit.
Dire's middle barracks.
What an outplay. This was top class from Spirit. Probably one of their best games of the tournament, really. They've been, like we said, a bit hot and cold, but they're coming in today. The stakes are high.